So hello and welcome to webinar 1ClickFactory's three-step approach, how to successfully upgrade to Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management and how to remain up to date. So in this webinar, we'll cover three steps as we define them at 1ClickFactory: how to evaluate upgrade process, how to execute the upgrade process successfully to Dynamics 365 from previous AX versions, AX 2009, AX 12, and how to remain up to date when you finally have the solution updated and running on Dynamics 365. So first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Paulius Brezgys. I am Dynamics AX or Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management architect at 1ClickFactory. I have extensive experience in building solutions and, most importantly, upgrading customers and customer solutions from AX to Dynamics 365. And today I will be sharing my experience on how to best tackle upgrades with the latest technology and industry trends that we see in Dynamics 365 and in the upgrade world. So let's have a look at the topics that we'll have to discuss today. So first of all, I'll do a short introduction to our company, that is 1ClickFactory, and then we'll get to the three main topics of today's webinar. So first, I'm going to talk about best path assessment, and that's our analysis service. So I'll tell you how to ensure seamless upgrade by using our solution analysis service that we have in place, and we have executed for more than 100 customers already. Second, I'll talk about how to make an upgrade to Dynamics 365 in the most efficient way. I'm going to share experience and share our procedures, how we execute upgrades to Dynamics 365. And then the last topic will be solution maintenance. So when you have the solution upgraded to Dynamics 365, how to remain confident with your customer's newest solution being continuously updated in Dynamics 365 world. After these topics, we'll have a Q&A session. So I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. You can throw any questions you have anytime during the session. You should see a window on the right side of your screen where you can provide any questions you have about topics that I'm discussing, and I'll be happy to cover these questions after we have done with the main topics. So let's get started. And as I've mentioned, first of all, I'm going to tell you a bit about 1ClickFactory, so the company that we are. So first of all, we provide software services to and through Microsoft partners. So if you are a customer, Dynamics customer who is joining this webinar, in order you would like to cooperate with us, please contact your partner and ask them to contact 1ClickFactory for the cooperation on your project. Now, we are experts in three areas. We have expertise in Microsoft Dynamics AX or Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management. We also have expertise in Dynamics NAV or Dynamics 365 Business Central. And we also have expertise in Sitecore and .NET, Umbraco.NET development. So on this slide, you can see just a few numbers that represent our experience. So we have done over 600 upgrades already, which out of these, more than 50 are AX upgrades. So we also have self-testing service for NAV, which we are delivering quite successfully directly to Microsoft. And on the upgrade front, in AX upgrades, we already have spent more than 60,000 hours just getting the customers to the latest and greatest AX or Dynamics 365 versions. But the key strength in our company is people. So we have more than 100 experienced, reliable, and professional consultants and developers, out of which more than 50 are certified architects. And as I've mentioned, also, we work exclusively through Microsoft partners, and our partners are always remaining the owner and primary contact for their customers. So our people who will be working on the project will be always contacting you as a partner, and you are our primary contact. And the last important thing to mention about 1ClickFactory is that we are ISV Development Center, and that's both privilege and responsibility. So we are trusted by Microsoft that we have the latest tools. We are the experts on the latest technology, and we are able to provide the ISV development add-on or add-on development expertise to our partners. So that is all I had to tell about 1ClickFactory, and let's move to the main topics of today's webinar. And first topic is our best path assessment and what's the service and what it's all about. So, are these questions really familiar to you? So if you are a X12 or X2009 customer and you see that the end of support is coming up for these systems, and you are thinking about upgrade, but you potentially have many questions in your head circling around. So first of all, where do you start in the upgrade? What's the best strategy? What's the best path of moving forward in this upgrade? Also, what will be the potential upgrade costs to your organization, or is it even possible to upgrade at all, right? And what's it's waiting for you in this whole upgrade path? So happily enough, at 1ClickFactory, we have a service which we call Best Path, which helps to tackle you all of these questions. So with our Best Path service, first of all, you can easily define the at least the ballpark figure, the ballpark price of an upgrade project. You can expand your capacity in performing multiple analysis and delegating these analysis to our experienced team, who have done more than 100 of these analyses already. We also at 1ClickFactory, we have a trusted methodology for both the analysis and upgrades. And usually, as a side effect of these analysis sessions, we see that the end customers, before the best path, they come to us and they are quite scared about the overall potential upgrade that's happening. After the best path analysis, they usually are eager to upgrade because they see, all of the obstacles. They can see them and they know how to address the potential obstacles and risks. And of course, they see what's the great benefits of moving to Dynamics 365. So that was in short what we cover with the best path assessment. Now, what's the process with it? If you were to start it, so we have for the best path assessment, we have 4 major steps. So first, we'll request you to upload some prerequisites. Best path is focused on both functional and technical assessments. So for technical assessment, we will need your customer source code, just analyze it. We'll do analysis, and that's our second step here. So that takes us usually around 5 days, and we do both machine analysis. We have built in-house tools that are based on our extensive experience and upgrades, and we also do manual analysis on top of that, which again helps to evaluate what's the potential effort and what are the potential paths and risks of upgrading to Dynamics 365. Then as step number 3, we do a best path assessment workshop. So this workshop takes 2 days, 4 hours each day with partner and both customer. We invite usually the ERP system owners from these parties to participate in the workshop, where we'll be taking you through functional analysis, through technical analysis, and also through integrations, reporting, BI, and data migration. So all of the path, all of the aspects that are important about migration, will be covering all of that during those workshops. So we'll discuss the potential upgrade paths, and we'll discuss the customizations that have to be carried over and have to be removed. And we'll put all of that into the report, and that's the step number 4 here. So as step number 4, we organize another meeting just to present you with the initial findings that we have after our analysis. And after that, we're going to send you the final report for the best path. So that's basically what's. So on the right side of the screen, I have a sample of the report. I know it's really small and probably impossible to see, but basically what this report consists of. So it consists of, first of all, of the assessment of the current, let's say, solution, and what's the customization level, and also what are the processes that are being used. And it also consists of estimation of the proposed migration approaches and proposed functionalities, let's say, that could be used in Dynamics 365. You will also receive upgrade scope document. Basically, that's an object-by-object list of AX objects and how to, basically with our proposed scenario, how to upgrade them. You can also receive a preliminary project plan and also fixed price upgrade proposal from us. That would basically tell us what would be, tell you what would be the price if we were to execute or let's say to assist on the upgrade project for you. Right. So just to summarize, what are the key benefits of the bus path assessment? So first of all, you will be getting a recommended upgrade approach. Dynamics 365 upgrades, they are not something that's really trivial usually, and usually there's a lot into that upgrade. So with our rather quick and structured analysis, you will be seeing what's the recommended upgrade approach, which pieces are relevant to be upgraded, which pieces are not, and also you will be getting a detailed analysis of your current solution. You will be getting potentially increasing customer confidence. As I mentioned, customers are usually, after this assessment, they're quite eager to migrate to Dynamics 365. So it's really a worth to invite, as a partner, for you to invite customers in this engagement. And of course, you will be getting more predictability during the upgrade process. And you will be getting, of course, the reduction of costs and risks, because you will spot these risks in the early stages of the project already. And you will be getting clear plan for the project execution and generally more visibility in the customer solution complexity. So here I have for you one question, and I think that the voting button will pop up in the screen, but the question is as following. So as we have done already more than 100 of these assessments, could you guess what's the average technical effort required to upgrade AX 2012 R3 solution to Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management? So please provide your answers in the poll, and I'll tell you the right answer, at least from our experience later on. And just to recap the bus path assessments story. So we have, as I mentioned, we have executed multiple, more than 100 assessments already. So, and we have quite positive customer and partner evidence. So usually the customers who are engaging with us on the assessments are eager to recommend the bus path assessment for everybody who is considering moving to Dynamics 365, because that reveals the risks, it reveals the effort required, and it reveals potential benefits for customers in the very early stage on migrating to Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management. And before moving to the next topic, I will go back to the poll that I given you. So I see that the majority of you actually picked the right answers. So from our experience, the average upgrade technical effort to upgrade the AX 2012 solution to Dynamics 365 is around 1,500 hours. So that's the average, as we'd say. Okay, and with that, let's move to another topic of our today's webinar, that is upgrading your customer solution in the most efficient way. So let's talk about upgrade. So why should your customer go, and why should your customer do the upgrade? So probably you have many customers who are running AX 2012 and AX 2009 versions, and you're probably aware that these versions are coming to the end of end-of-life support from Microsoft by the October 2021. So as a responsible partner, you can be proactive and offer your customers the latest and greatest technology that is in Dynamics 365. There is for sure many new features and many modern technologies included in Dynamics 365 that your existing customers can benefit from, and embracing the overall automation approach and overall automation in their organization with Power Apps and Power BI and all of these features that are provided together with Dynamics 365. Now, naturally, you can strengthen your customer loyalty by providing the latest and greatest technology for them, and naturally, having customers on the up-to-date and on the latest versions are the more cost-effective to support in the long term, because as soon as you upgrade on Dynamics 365, you won't have any major versions anymore. Dynamics 365 is the evergreen version, right? And potentially, as a partner, it could increase your revenue from your existing customers. Now, how 1ClickFactory could help you in these upgrades? Well, as a natural outcome of the best path assessment that I talked about in our first topic, we can provide you with upgrade proposal. Now, this upgrade proposal will help you with several things. So first of all, we will help you to understand the technical benefits of an upgrade. So naturally, upgrade usually is not, let's say, the single approach that will be taken. Usually there's a mix and match, but it's really important to highlight the benefits of upgrade for the customer solution, and that's what our proposal will be highlighting, really. We will also be creating a detailed plan of the next steps that must be taken to complete the upgrade. So whether which pieces of solution have to be, addressed with the gap fit analysis, and whether which pieces of solution should be redesigned completely, and which pieces can be lifted, by lift and shift approach, that is code upgrade. We'll detail all of that in our proposal after the best path analysis. You'll also see a customization level of solution and receive precise list of changed objects. So you will be in complete control of the overall upgrade. And you will be saving time in analyzing technical upgrades and budgeting the upgrade costs for the customer, because we will provide you with a fixed price proposal for the upgrade. So you will have, one variable quite clearly defined in the equation of the final upgrade cost to the customer. And let's have a look. So at the 1ClickFactory upgrade process that we are doing in-house. So we have done multiple upgrades to Dynamics 365, and we have quite well-structured approach how we tackle them. So usually the process is as follows. So first of all, we do a project kickoff where we align, the timeline, the responsibilities, in the upgrade project, and basically the deliverables that are and when they are going to happen and what's going to be delivered. Then we're going to take care of the infrastructure setup. So we'll set up, the source control, repository, machines, and all of that. Then we'll actually do the actual code upgrade to the pieces that we have agreed on. So we'll do the code upgrade. We'll do some light testing on it. We'll do also database migration. So data migration is usually part of our proposal. So we'll migrate data from old version to new version. And when you have the code ready and data ready, you can do the testing. So we'll do a light testing, and the rest of the testing probably should be done by you as a partner, because the process is the best. And after that, when everything's tested and running, we can also support you on actually doing the cutover and the go live for the customer with our expertise on, doing the migration as smoothly and as quickly as it is required. And well, right, so I told you about the process and I told you about proposal, but why should you entrust us with your customers' upgrades? So first of all, we really value our partnerships. So we usually go out of our way. We're going to be working nights and days and weekends to make your customers' upgrade successful, and to make it in time, and to address all of the risks in that project. Another Another reason is that we are experts in upgrade and we are experts in Dynamics 365, and we implement the latest technologies that are provided by Microsoft. So naturally, in the upgrade, we are keeping ourselves up to date with what's there in the market, and we'll be recommending you how to, let's say, the best approaches and the best ways that we see with technology that is available, upgrading your customer. And also, as we have gathered all of these miles going the upgrade path, we sense and tackle the risks in the project, and usually we sense them in an early phase. So we'll be helping you, to avoid the known pitfalls in the upgrade approach and the overall transition approach, Dynamics 365. Yes, so these are the few reasons why we feel you should entrust us with the customer's upgrade. And just to recap this piece, again, we have some positive partner and customer evidence. So the upgrades that we have done, they went quite smooth and we made them on time, and basically that's what these customer evidences here are telling that about. And customers were surprised whether it was even possible to do that, and then after upgrade they are happily running their system on Dynamics 365. Right. So that's about the upgrade, right? So you have, let's say you have done the analysis, you have estimated, we have went through the upgrade, and you finally have the upgrade project successfully executed, and you have your customer up to date in Dynamics 365. Well, then what's next, right? Well, there's another pillar in our three-pillar story, that is how to stay updated with subscription-based solution maintenance service. And the story of the service is really that it has come from the customer demand. So as you probably are aware, Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management is on a continuous deployment lifecycle. And well, what does that mean for you as a partner and for you as a customer? So first of all, every existing Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management customer is affected by the continuous deployment lifecycle. So affected in a way that approximately every 6 weeks, automatic platform updates are being rolled out by Microsoft. And with each rollout, end-to-end user testing should be performed in a sandbox, right? So, and if you don't do the testing and you will apply the update to production system, that could result in some unexpected errors and unexpected behaviors in the production system. And that's something that, you don't really want to happening in production system. Now, how to tackle that? So to tackle that, you have to do testing. And there are two ways to do testing in Dynamics 365. So first way is manual testing. So for manual testing, you usually need a dedicated team to do the testing when the automatic updates are happening. Manual testing, we are all human beings, so it might be that it's not always accurate, and that's prone to human error because, your testing team might miss one test case or another, and your testing team might, not notice something that went wrong with the data. If there's some number ended up not as expected, it's quite difficult to spot, all of these numbers. Another challenge with the manual testing is that testing should be done after each update, no matter there are issues or not, because you want to prevent issues, so you have to do testing over and over again. And just by nature of manual testing, so manual testing usually consumes a lot of time to go through all of these test cases. And there's another. So I talked about manual testing, but there's also automated testing. So together with the release of automatic updates 2 years ago, Microsoft also introduced automated testing. And this automated testing is recommended approach by Microsoft. And there are multiple testing options available. There's the regression suite automation tool. There is ATL or automated testing library processes. There is sys-test framework. So there are all kinds of tests available. But in this webinar, I'll focus on the regression suite automation tool tests, which are targeted to emulate business processes, essentially. And the main benefits of automated testing are that, first of all, it's less resource heavy and more reliable. So, you don't need people to actually run these tests, and, machines are machines, so they will spot any difference in data, any inconsistency in data. Naturally, there will be less time spent on testing after each system update, because you only just have to run these automated tests and potentially, inspect the end result. And well, all of that will result in lower recurring costs. Now, it sounds all nice and well, but there are some challenges that customers face with the automated testing. And so first challenge is that, significant effort and extensive knowledge is required to set up and to run and to configure these automated tests. Also, in case of failed tests, you'll have to allocate development resources, or technical resources, technical people, to investigate, why it actually failed and what could potentially be the fix for it. And another major challenge is that speed is required. So testing must be executed within 3 weeks time frame. So in that 3 weeks, you'll have to find a team who is able, to run these tests. That's an easy part, but also to inspect and evaluate and potentially fix what's there, what's broken there. So here for you, I have another poll. We are providing this. We have done some, let's say, industry research, and we are providing this. We are helping our partners with automated testing. So, what do you think? What's the most common reason? What is stopping customers from using automated testing? So I have 3 options here. So first of all, whether it's a complexity of setup, whether that's effort required to configure test cases, or maybe, some customers are not aware of the possibility to automate testing. So please provide your answers, and I'll review these answers in a minute. Yep. So I see, okay, yeah, the answers are still coming in. So let's wait a few seconds. Right. Okay, I think I have the answers ready. So majority of you actually voted that not being aware of the possibility to automate testing is the main reason why automated testing is not used. And the second one is that effort required to configure test cases. So all of you are correct. Surprisingly enough, we know that many customers are still not aware that there is a possibility to automate testing. So that is actually correct. Yes, really many customers are not. And the customers who are aware of the possibility to automate testing, they usually are scared by the effort required to configure test cases. So we usually see that the industry standard is around 20 hours are required to configure a single test case, and that's right. That's a quite upfront investment required, right? Now, with all of these challenges in mind, 1ClickFactory has come up with solution maintenance services. So we are aiming to help customers and partners with all of these challenges that they are facing with automated testing. So we have introduced 3 services, and this is basically the process how we deliver them. So first of all, we'll do a testing readiness assessment. So that's the first service that I have here on my screen. After we have assessed the testing readiness and we know what's the situation and let's say what's required, what's available, and what's missing to automate testing, We can provide you with testing scenarios development service, just to basically to have all of the prerequisites ready for the automated testing. And when we have that, we can provide you with a third service here, that is a solution maintenance service. That is a recurring service where we can run the testing for you, and where we can inspect the testing for you, and where we can provide fixes for you. So let's talk about each of these services a bit in more detail. So first of all, readiness assessment. So on readiness assessment, what we are actually doing is we are doing a solution maintenance services overview, and we are defining the scope of testing scenarios. So basically, we'll go through the modifications that customer has implemented, and we'll go through these modifications to understand which ones need the automated testing and which ones need the test cases to be created. There are some prerequisites to the service, so we'll ask you to provide the functional design documents or of modifications, or if you don't have, we'll go through, let's say, our questionnaire in this session here, just to understand what processes are being used, and we'll be doing some knowledge transfer on how the system is used daily. So that's quite a quick process that we have standardized. And what are deliverables? So let's say we'll do an initial discovery and scoping session where we're going to cover all of these aspects that I talked about, and we can also provide you with a quote for testing scenarios development service and for the solution and maintenance services that are the two succeeding services from the solution maintenance service family. So the second service, testing scenarios development. What is the service is all about? So we will be creating a testing scenarios documentation. So we will create manual where needed, and most likely automated test cases to cover the customizations that are implemented in customer solution. We'll do a customer test case validation together with partner and customer, just to see whether these test cases actually are matching your processes, and we'll define the test case input data together to understand whether to make these test cases actually valid for the business processes being tested. And of course, we'll do the infrastructure setup to enable the automated testing. So there are some prerequisites again. So there is a knowledge transfer and Q&A session basically about the customizations, and yeah, we'll need also your approval that these test cases are actually relevant. And the deliverables, as I mentioned, so in general, the solution readiness for automated testing is the main deliverable. And now under that, we'll actually deliver the business process library, definitions, and we'll deliver the test cases that are configured in DevOps. So these are the automated and manual test case artifacts that are required, to make the automated testing successful. So that's the testing scenarios development service. And when you have all of the prerequisites ready to run the automated testing, we can provide you with solution maintenance service. So solution maintenance service, it's a subscription-based service where we will be executing these test cases on basically on every upgrade iteration, and additionally, if you require, we will also execute these automated tests whenever you need them, whenever you're releasing some code release, right? We'll also support these test cases. So, if you are implementing some customizations, we'll make sure that these customizations will reflect in the test cases. And we will run these automated test cases, as I mentioned, on ad hoc requests or automated updates. But most importantly, we will inspect the issue first, and if we see that issues coming out of your code, then we'll together with you, potentially we'll discuss the solution if we need your input, because you as a partner probably know the customer solution the best. So we'll discuss the solution, and we will implement the final fix for the issue that has arisen in the code. Now, if it's Microsoft bug, then we, on your behalf, we will report this issue to Microsoft. And of course, that will stop the automatic update from happening to production and from breaking the customer system. Right, so that is the solution maintenance service. And yeah, just to recap, migration journey and three-step approach. So generally, we say that there are 3 steps on migrating your customer solution to Dynamics 365. So first step is defining the migration strategy. And that is what we are actually covering in our best path assessment. So with the best path assessment, we are assessing the existing solution complexity. We are analyzing code. We are analyzing the functional side which is used, and we are performing mapping with new technology possibilities where possible, just to minimize the code that's about to be upgraded. And we are evaluating transition possibilities, effort that's reflecting in the estimation, and we are evaluating risks in a very early stage just to tackle them in the upgrade project. Then, when you have the migration strategy defined, the next step is actually to execute migration to cloud. And here, 1ClickFactory can help you by providing our Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management upgrade service. So we can basically take care of the overall technical side of the upgrade. And you will still have to do, the final functional testing and user training and final go live. And the third step, when you have the solution ready and upgraded to Dynamics 365, is solution maintenance. And here, 1ClickFactory help you in setting up the testing, in running that testing and solving the issues that are potentially might happen with the automatic updates. So that is all I had to tell you about. Now, if you're interested in any of these services that I've talked about, feel free to request our services by providing information about your solution through 1ClickFactory, or you can always contact your 1ClickFactory local office. So we have local offices worldwide. And through our local office, you can request a consultation with our Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management specialist, and we'll be more than happy to consult you in person on the services that we are providing. And just some useful material about the topics that I've talked about. You can see that on the right side of your screen in the handout section. So we have an ebook on 3-step approach, how to upgrade successfully and stay updated, where you can find basically some information about our services and just some general insights about our 3-step approach that we talked about today. You will also see a free checklist, so situations when automatic Microsoft Dynamics Finance and Supply Chain Management platform updates become an issue. And you can also download another checklist, that is Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management upgrade. So things to do, how to avoid failure. Again, this comes all from our experience with the customers and just some helpful information for you in tackling those upgrades. So with all of that summarized, let's move to the Q&A session. So I see there are some questions popping up in the Q&A window, so please feel free to drop any questions you have. And the very first question that I see from Mikkel is, does it make sense to upgrade to Dynamics 365? So this is a very, very much valid question that I am asked multiple times during the assessments and even before the assessments. And the natural question, having in mind Dynamics 365 and all the extensions and change technologies, that maybe not, but from our experience, it actually makes sense to upgrade. But it's important to focus on the quality of upgrade. So you have to pick the pieces for upgrade that are relevant, and this depends customer by customer. So some customers have, some customers have the solution that's completely standalone from standard, and then it makes sense to upgrade. Now, some customers have rewritten the, the financial posting frameworks, and maybe that doesn't make sense to upgrade because they don't need those customizations anymore. So that's why it's really important to do a really detailed analysis before you actually do the Dynamics 365 upgrade. So you have to do really good analysis and identify the pieces that are worthy for upgrade, because when you upgrade, you can save time. And you also have to identify pieces which are not worthy for upgrade and potentially could be replaced by standard. So yeah, I hope that clears some things up. I see another question popping up. That's coming from Maura. So the question is, how long does it take the best path assessment to evaluate complexity? So yeah, as I mentioned, our best path assessment, basically it takes from 2 to 3 weeks in the process, but the sessions that we are engaging with you, they will take, we will have 2 sessions, 4 hours each session, where we'll be basically, talking about the customer solution and evaluating the complexity and evaluating the potential upgrade scope that could be there, and potential upgrade approaches. So yeah, that's generally 2 to 3 weeks in our experience. That's how long the whole process takes, arranging the meetings and all of that. But it's really not time consuming from your as a partners team, because we will only have 2 sessions, 4 hours each session, so 8 hours, plus of course the final results discussion. I see another question popping up from Mikkel. How often do you actually need to fix something when automatic updates happen? So I have quite some experience on that. So first of all, let's start with the story. So automatic updates, they started to happen 2 years ago. So that was April 2019 when Microsoft introduced the one version approach. First upgrades were really bumpy road, because Microsoft still didn't have the the knowledge how to do them with less pain. So it was a bumpy road, but nowadays, 2 years later, and what's that, like 16 updates later, usually it's not really that common that you have to fix something. Now, that really depends on how heavy the customer is customized. So naturally, the more there are customizations, the more there are things that potentially can break down. And another reason is that you can skip some updates. So some customers prefer to have only 2 updates per year, even though there are 8 updates per year that are being rolled out. You can skip some intermediate update. And if you're gonna be skipping 3 updates in a row, that means you are getting you're getting features and bug fixes and potentially bugs from Microsoft that are accumulated in a one big package. And so applying updates 2 times per year, of course, that is more risky, and you're more likely to get some things broken in production than if you would be taking every update every 6 weeks. So yeah, there is so normally not that many things that are breaking down, but there are some exceptions to that. Okay, I have another question from another Mikkel. And the question is, do you really need to be alert regarding updates after you have upgraded Dynamics 3 software as a service solution? I mean, is this one of the major reasons to update software as a service? So you have to be aware that the updates are happening, and actually it's a good thing. So first of all, don't get me wrong, it's not the risk. Automatic updates are a good thing because it's really easy to receive the the latest features from Microsoft. So usually Microsoft is releasing the regulatory features. For example, in the Europe now we have SAFT, which is rolling out everywhere. So Microsoft will be covering SAFT in standard Dynamics 365, and you don't have to install any of the hotfixes manually. Basically, they will appear in your system by just applying automatic update. And usually there are bug fixes that are provided by Microsoft, and most importantly, new features in warehousing, in warehousing, or it's quite popular one, or in other supply chain management areas. There are many features that are being rolled out constantly, and your customers' organization, they can take benefit of that. So yes, it's both that yes, these updates are a good thing, but you have to be aware that there is a before update you should do testing on the sandbox just to make sure that update doesn't break anything. So yeah, it's generally it's a great feature of having these automatic updates, but there's a cost you have to pay in testing. So I hope that answered your question, Mikkel. And another question from Mikkel. So the last question from me: are updates any different in on-prem and cloud deployments from Dynamics 365 F&O? So the short answer is not really. The upgrades are exactly the same in both, in Dynamics 365 Cloud and in on-prem versions, because technically the code is the same. So even though but regardless if you are running on cloud or on-prem, the code is the same and the architecture is pretty much the same. So the upgrades are really similar. There is one difference for the integrations piece. The on-premises integrations that are quite popular in AX12, they direct database integrations, they're working just fine with Dynamics 365 on-prem. Now, if you're going to move to software as a service or cloud, Dynamics 365, now naturally you cannot have the on-premise related integrations anymore. So that's the only difference. But technically, these upgrades are pretty much the same. So I hope that answered your question. I see a question from Johan Sandquist. Could you elaborate a little on the required efforts to write useful tests based on your experience? That's a valid question. Yes, so first of all, about these valid tests. So usually there are some knowledge, let's say, required on putting the right test in place that would actually test something. We have, as I mentioned already in the topics that I've discussed, we have a kind of an average size. So an average task recording, it takes around 20 hours, from defining the test case to actually creating that test case in task recorder and defining the testing parameters and all of that. Now I see you also asking, for example, in terms of the percentage of the total upgrade cost. That's a valid question. We haven't done such analysis, and it's probably, I would really wonder if that correlates, because some customers have, Dynamics 365 upgrade cost varies widely depending on the complexity of customizations and not necessarily on the number of customizations. So it might be that customer has many more customizations which are completely not intrusive. So it's really easy to upgrade the solution. However, they have lots of processes and they need lots of test cases. So probably there's not, there's not much relation there. But yeah, we see usually customers having from 10, even 15, 20 test cases to 100 test cases. That's pretty normal, range of the test cases that we usually see with the customer solutions. So I hope that answers your question, Johan. Okay. I see no more questions in the Q&A window, so I'd like to thank you for giving valid questions, and I'm really, it's really, interesting for me to answer them. So, and overall, I would like to thank you for taking part in today's webinar. I hope you find it interesting, and I hope you find the information that I've provided useful. And again, as I mentioned, if you are interested in our services, please contact us at 1ClickFactory.com or reach out to our local representatives, and we'll be more than happy to tell you more. And yeah, we'll see you later, I guess, in the Dynamics 365 upgrades, and in helping you to maintain these customer solutions on Dynamics 365. Thank you. Bye.